Hey, everybody, do you like punishing your enemies with counterattacks? Then stay tuned for this video because we're going over Red 13 and the basics of his kit, his gameplay, and what you kind of want to do with him. And so far, I really like him. He's probably my second or third favorite character so far in this game. Tifa being my first, but you know, Tifa's always going to be the waifu. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, the whole basis of Red's kit is going to be centered around his vengeance mode. Yes, he's straight up Batman. So he's going to be a second kind of support character behind Barret, because Barret was kind of a support character in the remake, and Red 13's kind of like that, except he's a little bit more of the tanky side. As you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm just standing in there and I'm just blocking attacks basically. And every time you block an attack, you'll see the vengeance mode gauge go up. So yeah, ultimately what you want to do is you get in there, you basically tank for your character, for your other party members, and you block the attacks. You can also do the perfect guard as well. The perfect guard will also work in hiring your vengeance mode gauge. And once you get the vengeance mode gauge up to the full amount, you can press triangle and you'll enter vengeance mode, which gives Red 13 a lifesteal mechanic, basically. And I'll show that off here in just a second. And also, not to mention that when he's in vengeance mode, his attack power, his attack speed, the range of his ATB abilities, and his dodge all get increased power. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, so ultimately what you're going to want to do is whenever you find any kind of materia that's going to increase his ability to block, his ability to tank, probably lifesteal if that's even possible in there. I know in the Junon demo there was a steadfast block materia that you could get, which is perfect. It wasn't called steadfast block, but it basically might as well have been steadfast block. The only difference is that it allows the the timing window for your perfect parries to be a little bit higher, which is almost tailor-made for Red 13's gameplay in my opinion. So I would put that on him. If steadfast block is in the game as well, again, which I think it might be, give that to him as well, because you'll higher up his ATB gauge while you're blocking. So that's definitely something you want to do, because I think overall Red 13's gameplay is going to revolve around his vengeance mode. And yeah, while he is pretty straightforward, there's not really much to show about Red 13. That still does not make him any less interesting, because there's going to be materias that'll probably change the way the characters behave in certain ways. There's also going to be new abilities, so who knows what else he's going to be able to do once the full game releases. Not only that, like once you get into vengeance mode as well, you can basically go offensive with Red, because his attack, as I said earlier, his attack power increases and all that stuff, and you can basically just unload with like your ATB gauges with like Sidewinder, his other ability, and then his crescent swipe, I think it was called, because the range on the crescent swipe is insane, and I'll show that right now.
I've had enough.
Right? Absolutely massive, right? It's huge range. Now I'm going to show a little demonstration of his dodge. What happens when he's in vengeance mode. Look at this dodge. It's insane. It's like Tifa levels of like dodging. It's insane. His speed increases. Like you can see his attack speed goes up as well. Like yeah. Vengeance mode is when you want to get offensive with Red, because before then, yeah, he attacks a little bit quicker, but then he also, you know, you basically want to just be building up your vengeance gauge. That's kind of the most important thing, because you're also going to get the ability to lifesteal as well. Now, it wasn't that big of a like lifesteal gain. I didn't notice it was like huge. It wasn't like super broken or anything like that. It gives you enough HP, so you still kind of got to play. You still got to play a little bit smart. You can't just be like, oh, I'm invincible now, I have life steal, which there may be a way to buff that. It could very well possibly be a materia in the base game when the game gets released that will allow you to steal more HP, which would in turn skyrocket Red 13's capabilities even more to tank. So yeah, overall, like in my opinion, like he's straightforward, but he's also really fun to play. And it's like he doesn't have like all the super duper combo paths that, you know, Cloud and Tifa have, but he doesn't need them, to be honest, because all of his is just basically about tanking and just, you know, like he's taking reduced damage here. You can he's a perfect character where you can kind of practice your perfect parries on, I think, for the enemies, because he doesn't take a whole lot of damage. So to me, I think he's an excellent character to test out perfect parries and all that stuff, tanking and stuff. If you're unsure about an enemy, just use him. So yeah, in closing, Red 13 is a really fun character. He's all about tanking, building up vengeance mode, stealing life from the enemies, and then also going on the offensive once he's buffed up. Overall, you know. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else happens in the main game that's going to buff up these characters even more. And then I will do a follow-up video, as I'm going to do with all the other characters, once I've learned their abilities, all their abilities and all that stuff, once they've been increased. And then we'll kind of go over like more advanced stuff maybe, or we'll talk about this again and see what changes. But overall, yeah, like unless there's more to be discovered, I feel like I've talked about basically all the main stuff that's going to be like important for him. You know, and then stuff that, like, materias that I would be looking out for him. Like, things that are going to increase his defense, his lifesteal ability if possible, his blocking, the perfect parries as well, perfect blocking as well. Yeah, so overall I would be looking for all that stuff, and yeah, have a blast. If this is your kind of playstyle, have a blast with him. His Red 13 is going to be right up your alley. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for much more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth videos. The game is so close to being released.
Small wonder we won.